Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, let me give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kwadash. I want to give double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone that do rule exceptionally well. They continually feed the flock with 100% truth. They do that free of charge, and they uplift and they magnify the name of Yahweh and also the name of Yahweh Shai. Let me say shalom, citations, mercy, and blessings to all the sincere brothers that's out there that push this word with truth and with faith, striving to be a part of the hopeful elect. To the very best of their ability, they're doing the right thing in the sight of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and they're also doing their part to uplift and magnify the name of Yahweh and also the name of Yahweh Shai. And to you very few sisters that's out there that sincerely believe that's seeking to do the right thing, to you as well, I do say shalom. My name is Tabawa Amath of Great Millstone Northwest. I'm coming back with another message. I hope that the message itself is received. And if the Lord allows it, I pray that there's some edification that comes through this. I ran across this article a little earlier, so I wanted to share this. All right. You had Hegseth. Hegseth. All right, Pete Hegseth, the U.S. Secretary of War. Okay. Title used to be called before this year or last year. The title was the Secretary of Defense. It's now called the Secretary of War. All right, as they changed the title from the Department of Defense to the Department of War after Nero 47, Donald Trump took office the second time. Okay. Hegseth calls for no mercy to Iranians deemed war crime. Okay. It says, and this is from RT, by the way, RT.com. If I remember, I'll post the link to this down in the description. In fact, let's go ahead and just copy the link now so that way I have it ready for when I post this video. It can just be pasted right to the description box. Hegseth calls for no mercy to Iranians deemed a war crime. Now, what's really substantial about this is that the Lord is at this time exposing Esau, Edom, to be exactly who we have said that they were. Okay, exactly who we have been pointing to over all these years of being the Edomites. Well, the Lord's allowing their horns to show to where it's not even it's not something that's far-fetched. It's not something that seems out there anymore. Okay, I remember back in my earlier years, 2011, 2012, 2013, it was kind of a for a lot of people, it was kind of a hard thing to see as far as the Edomites being the wicked of the earth. However, you fast forward now to 2026. All right, today's date is March the 16th of 2026. And man, it's clear to see, as clear as it is to look up in the sky and see the moon. Okay, it's clear to see that these Edomites themselves, and I'm talking about on a clear night, that is, to look up and see the moon during the full moon. Hey, these Edomites, these people who they call themselves Caucasian, however, not all of the Edomites appear as Caucasians, and not everybody that appear as a so-called Caucasian is an actual Edomite. Okay, but the majority of them, they like to call themselves Caucasian or so-called white. All right, and they're being revealed to be the actual problem of the earth. They're being revealed to be the cause of all the pain and heartache and suffering that's happening on this planet. A lot of times you can point the finger back to these individuals, man, especially their chief house being Amalek, the so-called small, I'm sorry, I shouldn't call them the so-called small hats. We call them the small hats. They call themselves by other names, but they got protections in the system to where you can't just call them out directly, or else you'll get called anti with their semantics, and you'll catch strikes and whatnot. I don't really want to catch a strike, but hey, these people are being revealed to be the problem of the earth. They're being revealed to be the ones that always bring the violence, that always upsets the peace, no matter what comes out of their mouth. The scriptures talk about how their words were smooth as butter, but it's war that's in their hearts, and we're seeing this. We're seeing this happen. That's what's very beautiful about the things that's going on in the earth, especially with this Iranian war. As you had these Edomites just go over there and start messing with Elam, all right, because the Iranians, the Persians, come from the house of Elam. They went over there messing with them, effing around, and now they're finding out that they bit off more than they could chew. And me personally, I love seeing this. It's a delight. Okay, the water to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, for allowing us to be able to see this, man. Because for a while Esau was just trumping, he was just stepping along like nothing was wrong, and now we're seeing, he's not as strong as he's been posturing himself to be. All right. Let's read a little bit of this though, because this is interesting. Him saying that there's going to be no mercy to Iranians. Um, Pretty much saying he's not going to take any prisoners. All right, he's not going to allow the military to take any prisoners in the upcoming war and military conflicts that they're going to be having, as they just moved, I believe, 5,000 Marines and troops over to the Middle East. Okay, as the pretty much the vanguard. Okay, they're going to be the first wave of troops that go over there, while they mount up to send the masses of the military over there. Okay, it says the threat to take no prisoners in a conflict is illegal under U.S. and international law. And what you'll find out with Esau Edom is that they don't care, even though they set up the rules. They don't play by those rules. Those rules are not for them to play by. It's for everybody else to play by. And they will definitely be the first ones to call you out for not following the rules. But when it comes to them, it's a what's that term called? It's a double standard. All right, it's a double standard when it comes back onto them, as they don't have to play by the rules. The rules are for you to play by. All right, it's just like the police. They speed all day long, whether there's an emergency or not. They are going well above the speed limit 99% of the time. Meanwhile, if you go above the speed limit, depending on what kind of day they're having, they may they may try to make your life hell. All right. It's a record number of police officers who get caught up for domestic violence, who get caught up for drunk driving. All right, just flat out breaking rules, breaking the law, and when they do it, it's cool, but when you do it, oh, it's a problem. All right. Anyway, though, let's read a little bit of this. I got some scriptures that go along with this that I want to pull as well. Um, so reading on in this article, it says U.S. War Secretary Pete Hegseth. I gotta catch myself from saying hedgehog. That's so me and the brothers call him around here. Hey, fucking hedgehog. Because look at this fucking face, man. You know. Anyway, though, Pete Hegseth is facing accusations of violating domestic and international law prohibiting war crimes by declaring that no quarter or mercy would be given to Iranian forces. The legal definition of the term means surrendering Iranian soldiers would be executed by American troops rather than taken prisoner. U.S. officials and legal experts have responded by accusing Hegseth of encouraging war crimes. Okay? Now, let me mind you that this guy Hegseth, and it actually mentions it a little further down in the article. This guy Hegseth, he was the one that was saying that we're not abiding by any stupid rules of engagement. All right, that was out of his mouth. All right, this guy, when he went in front of all those generals, that was the big talk he was talking about. It was that the American troops don't need to abide by these rules, when these are the rules that's been set up to keep war in a fair fashion. All right, because the Americans will be the first ones to cry wolf when when other troops are using flamethrowers or using chemical warfare, you know, or so on and so forth. They'll be the first ones that'll cry wolf. Okay? Imagine if it was the other way around, where the Iranians was the one saying that they would not take any American prisoners. All right, that they would just execute them. If the Americans surrender, they're just going to execute them. Imagine if that was the headline. All right, people will be losing it. People will be going slap stupid. But since it's coming out of an Edomite's mouth, this Edomite in particular, all right, with that stupid face, since it's coming out of his mouth, it's all good? No, man, that's not the way it goes. Okay? And the beautiful thing about the scriptures is the scriptures tell you time and time again that you reap what you sow. What it is that you're putting out there, you the one that's gonna have to, it's gonna come back around to you. Karma is definitely a real thing according unto the scriptures, man. All right? So these Edomites are really in for a rude awakening, and they're realizing that they're losing their grip on the world. They're realizing that everything's falling apart, that it's not as good as it was, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40, 50 years ago. It's not as good as it was. That Edomite stronghold isn't as strong as it used to be. These other nations is catching up, and they're trying to get ahead of the ball, but the snowball is way too big as it's rolling down the hill. All right. And ultimately, it's just going to flatten these guys. And it's a beautiful thing to see, man. We're excited about this. Let me continue reading about this. It says, and this is a quote. It says, we will keep pressing, we will keep pushing, keep advancing, no quarter, no mercy of our enemies. Hegseth said at a press briefing on Iran on Friday. Okay, so this was last Friday. Today is Monday, March 16th. So last Friday would have been what, the 16th, 15th, 14th, the 13th. Oh yeah, Friday the 13th is when he would have made this statement. Okay. It says some U.S. officials and legal scholars have argued that the remarks went beyond tough rhetoric and strayed into criminality, right? Because that's a crime, that's a war crime, and that's a crime under the United States law itself to not take a prisoner of war. Okay. A 555 in the upper left-hand corner, call Allah Bashim Al Shai. Now, the number 5 represents power, all right? And the ultimate power that's about to be established here on the earth is the power of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Man, it's going to be a beautiful thing seeing the Lord smack these people into place, because they're gonna be bewildered, man. You know, they in their head, they've really convinced themselves that they're the strongest and the best and the top tier of everything that's out there. And they're in for a rude awakening, man. All right. And they're already catching a small glimpse of that by the struggle that they're having with these Iranians. You listen to the American media or Western media as a whole, and it makes it sound as if they're just crushing Iran. They're just moving through it with no problems, that, everything's going fine, and that's not the case. And when the body bags start pouring back in, it's going to show, man. Send those troops. Send those troops, man. Let's get it started. Okay. It says, Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona blasted Hegseth, saying his comment isn't some wannabe tough guy line, but rather an illegal order that jeopardizes U.S. military service members. It also shows there was never a clear strategy for this war, the lawmaker added. Dan Maurer, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce that, Dan Maurer, a retired U.S. Army lieutenant colonel and judge advocate, published a hypothetical memo Hegseth should receive from the Pentagon legal counsel, informing him of criminal liability for himself and any subordinate who follows his directive to deny quarter. Right. Because like I said, that's war crimes, man. That's something that you can get, uh, what's the word? Brought up on charges. What's the word for it? Legally, damn, I know there's a word for it. It's slipping my mind right now. I know there's a brother that's watching this, like, and the words, they're just shouting the word. I forget what it is though, but hey, you can get caught up, you can get brought up on charges, all right? You can face actual prison time for some of these war crimes, man. All right? Hey, think about this. There's still, if they was to find somebody who was a World War II Nazi, they will still arrest them and try to persecute them under criminal law, man, of war. Okay, based off of things that may or may not have happened in World War II. So think about that. All right. Don't think that this is just, it'll just, if Esau's world was to continue, that everything would just be swept under the rug. If, as a service member that's out there, if you follow the unlawful order, even though you was just following orders, you could still get brought up on those charges, man. All right, you can still face UCMJ charges. All right, which UCMJ, I believe, is what was you? Damn it, I want to Google, but I don't want to mess up the flow of things I got going on my phone. So UCMJ, I forget exactly. I know it's Justice Code, the CJ, or Code of Justice, United Military Code of Justice, or something like that. UC United Code of Military Justice, or something like that, man. Or Unified Code of Military Justice. It's something along those lines. The point being, though, you can get brought up under charges for that, and you can actually face prison time under certain war crimes, okay? I mentioned a flamethrower earlier. As a United States service member, you're not allowed, even if the enemy's using a flamethrower and you're out of ammunition, you're not allowed to pick up the enemy's flamethrower and use it back on them. Okay, you can get criminally charged for that. You will face time for that. Okay, if it's found out, if it gets reported back and you get brought up on those charges. All right. So just using that as an example and showing that as an example, which there's plenty of service members that's out there that, has got away with some very horrific things. All right. Because like I said, that double standard is out there. But the point being that if a squad of military personnel, Marines, Army service members, whoever it may be, if they was to come across some Iranians and the Iranians was to surrender, and rather than taking them prisoner, they executed them, their asses will be brought up on charges, man. Okay, they will be persecuted. All right, if it reached if it reached back to the proper authority, they will be persecuted for that, man. All right, which nowadays everything is logged, everything is tracked, everything in the military is tracked, man. Okay, it's not as if you'll get away with it. Just like all the police have, majority of them, they have the body cams and whatnot, and things are being tracked. Their cars being tracked, where it's at, where they're doing. It's known if their weapon was fired, so on and so forth. Well, the military, they get tracked as well. All right, you have to report what happened. You have to do reports day in and day out, from the smallest little guy all the way up. There's reports being made on what happened, where it happened, how many you encountered, so on and so forth, man. Okay. Um, a good movie that kind of shows that is Lone Survivor with Mark Wahlberg. You see some of the operations that he was doing, and you'll see how much communication they was trying to have with every step of the way. All right, and a lot of operations go that same way. It says Dan Maurer. Where was I? It says, okay, it says informing him of criminal liability for himself and any subordinate who follow his directive to deny quarter. The Hague Convention and the Geneva Convention forbid harming enemy combatants unable to defend themselves or who have surrendered, and explicitly prohibits declaring that no quarter will be given. These rules are enshrined in U.S. domestic law. The 1996 War Crimes Act directly cites the article banning no quarter in its definition of war crimes. The U.S. military has prohibited orders to take no prisoners since 1863, when U.S. President Abraham Lincoln issued the Lieber Code during the Civil War. Hegseth has previously dismissed concerns about international law, claiming that he would not abide by stupid rules of engagement. See, this guy he's a loose cannon, and he's going to get a lot of people. He's going to get a lot of people ex-nayed. He's going to get a lot of individuals, a lot of American citizens, American soldiers sent back to the spirit world. And you know what? Good for them. Good for them, man. Okay. It says in politically correct wars. His remarks also come 2 weeks after U.S. strike on a girls' school in southern Iran that killed more than 170 people, most of them children. All right, so this guy has no regard for international law. He has no regard for U.S. law concerning war, which his boss, this guy, is another individual who just does as he pleases and doesn't consult with Congress on what he can do with war. But he's got them all where they're scared to make any moves against him. All right, because you've noticed that they haven't done anything about the fact that he just bypasses Congress to enter military conflicts. All right, and ultimately the war, because Congress didn't vote on us going to war with Iran. However, here we are. But the point is that these Edomites, one of the main characteristics of these individuals is that they are absolutely merciless, man. Okay, they are absolutely merciless, and that's why in return, whenever the Lord does give us the green light, we're not going to show any type of mercy towards them either. Okay, just as much as they didn't show any mercy, well, we're not going to show any mercy back onto them. And one of the main scriptures that speak about how you don't get no mercy because you've shown no mercy, all right, is this scripture. And this scripture is universal right here. This is James chapter 2, Verse 13, universal meaning it applies to everybody. It says, for he shall have judgment without mercy who have shown no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. Okay? So you're going to not receive any mercy because you've shown no mercy, man. All right? What's it saying in the book of, what was that? That was Psalms 18, I believe it was. I just looked at this just a second ago. Psalms chapter 18, verse, let me see, I think it was around verse 23. 25. Psalm chapter 18, verse 25, it says, with the merciful wilt thou wilt show thyself merciful. With an upright man thou wilt show thyself upright. With the pure thou wilt show thyself pure, and with the froward thou wilt show thyself froward. All right? So the Lord is about to he's about to show you Edomites his true power, okay? And he's going to show you his anger, because he said he was going to have indignation. He has indignation with the different nations, all right? And one of the main nations, the main nation that the Lord has a problem with is Esau, Edom, as they are the ones who have done their darnest to poison not only the minds of the people, but the actual physical bodies of the people, the air, the water, the food. All right, the animals. He's got the animals out of whack. This guy has caused so much destruction upon this planet. It's not even funny. And when the Lord really opens our eyes for us to see how much Esau has been just being a damn devil, he's going to put that anger within us to where we'll be properly angry with this guy as well. You won't have in the kingdom. See, right now you have it where Jake wants to stick up for the Edomites, man. They want to try to, anytime somebody comes up, they want to try to make a case for the so-called white man and him receiving salvation without taking into consideration all of the hell that this guy has caused for the nation of Israel. See, when the Lord actually reveals all of that and we're in the kingdom of heaven, not a single Israelite is going to try to stand up to save Brad from the wrath of Brad's owner. Okay, when Brad's getting his fucking head knocked in and getting his back whipped, not a single Israelite is going to rise up and try to stop that from happening. All right, all the Israelites is going to cheer it on, man. Okay, and that may sound harsh, but just think about it, man. That we have to reward back onto her double, as it says in Revelation, at Revelation 18, I believe. We got to reward her as she has rewarded us, man. Okay, and she's gonna get double back from all the bullshit that she has done unto us. What I'm referring to is these the Edomites. All right, it speaks about the whole system of these wicked individuals, but it's all spearheaded and ran and led and directed by the so-called white man, who in the scriptures is called Esau Edom. All right, because it's not a skin color thing. I must stress the fact that this is not about skin color. You have individuals who appear as so-called Negroes and really they're Edomites. All right, you got people that appear as so-called Caucasians and really they're Israelites. All right, so it's not a skin color thing, man. It all follows the bloodline of your father, and your skin, your outer, shell can change. The way you appear can change, but that spirit always comes back as whatever it was assigned to. When the spirits were created, they were assigned a nation, okay? They were assigned a nationality according unto the spirit. So the spirit of Israelites, when you first came as an Israelite thousands of years ago, well, you're still an Israelite today. All right, you've never spent a life as a Moabite. You never spent a life as a Ammonite or a Ishmaelite. All right, you've always been an Israelite. And anybody who's an Ishmaelite or a Moabite or a Hamite has never been an Israelite. Okay, the heathen has always been the heathen. There's 18 different nations, man. All right, and this is going all the way back on even onto Adam. All right, the Israelites, what will be called Israelites today, back then was called the sons of God. Okay, or the sons of the power. This is Proverbs chapter 21, and let's read what it says right here at verse 13. All right, it says, "Whoso stoppeth his ears at the cry of the poor, he also shall cry himself, but he shall not be heard." All right, when you look at this word for poor, I believe the word was dull. Yep, the word is dull. The Strong's H 1800. All right, dull. It comes from the word dalal. All right, which means low, poor, weak, thin, one who is low. Okay, one who is low. And the Israelites has been the one that's low, but even in this sense, you got Hegseth talking about the Iranians who are surrendered, are in a point where they can't defend themselves, how he's not going to show any mercy. That's somebody who is in a low state. Okay, So if you stoppeth your ear from the cry of the poor, well, when it's your time to cry, you ain't gonna be heard. And that's one of the reasons why when these Edomites really start catching their hell, there's not gonna be anybody that's gonna stick up for you guys, man. All right? There's not going to be anybody that's going to be able to save you out of the wrath of the Lord, man. And the Lord's really about to bring that wrath. You got to remember what it says in Obadiah. You know, you shouldn't have put your hand towards the apple of the Lord's eye. Okay? The Lord's going to use the heathen to a certain extent, and eventually the Lord's going to rouse up the Israelites to come against you guys too. And boy, when that start happening, man, you Edomites, you're in for a world of hurt. Okay? This says Esau will be humbled. All right. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1. It says the vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is set among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. So the Lord is about to bring all kinds of hell towards you guys, man. Okay. Verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, who saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Because these Edomites have been sitting in that authority position since the Renaissance, and they've been able to, conquer and take control over the whole earth, and they really think that nobody upon the planet is able to bring them down. Well, what they didn't consider is that the Lord's going to come and bring your ass down from outside the planet. How about that? Okay? But before that even happens, he's going to be breaking you down, piece by piece, using the other nations, as he sees fit, man. As his whooping, as you was the whooping stick for the nation of Israel, where the Lord's about to use the nations to be your whooping stick before ultimately you come back underneath the control of Israel, the Israelites. All right. Let me jump down. All right. Let me see. What do I want? Verse 10. Let's jump down to verse 10. Obadiah it's only one chapter. Verse 10. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive his forces, which that's speaking about when we fell to Babylon, when the Babylonians was allowed to come and conquer Jerusalem, all right, and take over the southern kingdom. That's the day that's being spoken about here. It says, in the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them, right? Because the Edomites, Jacob and Esau, were twin brothers, all right? Jacob being the forefather of the Israelites and Esau being the forefather of the Edomites. They were twin brothers. So if any nation was supposed to come to our aid and to our rescue, if any nation was supposed to be an ally unto us as a people, it was supposed to be the Edomites. All right. But the Edomites have always dealt treacherously with us. All right. From the very beginning, from us being established as a nation, they dealt treacherously with us, man. All right. When we went under the captivity of the Egyptians, Esau didn't rise up to come and free us. But then when the Lord did free us and allowed us to get up out of the land of Egypt to go into our own land, the Edomites was right there to come up against us, man. Wouldn't allow us to travel through their land and came and attacked our feeble ones, the scriptures speak of. All right. It says, but thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity, yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Right, because the Babylonians came and took us over and carried away captive, the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And Esau was right there to break into your house and steal your stuff, man. Okay? Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. So even the ones that tried to get away from the captivity of Babylon, Esau was there to be a slave catcher, man. He was there to catch you and turn you in. All right. So this guy's got a lot to pay for. He's always been somebody who has not had any mercy. So therefore, he's not going to receive any mercy. Okay. It says, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return on thine own head. Like I said, the aspect of karma is not lost in the scriptures. All right, it's definitely upheld within the scriptures. All right, you reap what you sow, and Esau has reaped nothing. He has sown. That's what I should say. He have sown nothing but wickedness and trouble and heartache towards us as Israelites, and ultimately towards the entirety of the world. Okay, which is, and the world's fed up with it, man. All right, so I applaud Iran. I really hope Iran jacks a lot of stuff up for you people, man. All right, because you need a piece of that humble pie. All right, but we know that the pride that's really within you has been set up by the Lord, and it's not going to be quenched all the way until our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai comes, and we're waiting, and we're enjoying the show. Okay, um, right here, verse 16. It says, "For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been." And we're seeing the heathen drink upon you, man, starting with the Iranians, man. All right, hey, let's go Persia. Go Persia. Man, hey, the Iranians got a new little special spot in my heart, man. They might not be in the field. The Iranian, they might have to be, they might get a job in the palace, man. Making quilts or whatever. I don't know. They might get a better job. Maybe they'll be the ones taking care of the horses or something. I don't know what job they'll have, but I don't think they're gonna be breaking down rocks like Esau. Esau's ass gonna be out there breaking rocks. I'm gonna put Ham's ass out there too, you know, Lord willing, because I can't stand them fucking Hamites. But the Iranians, man, the Persians, they might get a better lot, you know, because they're bringing it to you, okay? So the heathen, they're part of the heathen that's drinking upon Esau, because man, fuck Esau, man. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let me get back to it. Let's go to the book of Isaiah. Let's grab it as Isaiah 47. That's a good one. Isaiah 47, man. It says, let's read this in the NLT. Okay. It says, come down, virgin daughter of Babylon. The virgin daughter of Babylon is the United States of America. All right. They wouldn't call it the United States of America because in the time of Isaiah, that term wasn't even around, the United States of America. Okay. Not only it being a country, but that the terminology for that wasn't even around. So what they put is the virgin daughter of Babylon. The reason this place is called the virgin daughter of Babylon is because this place has not been touched. It's an untouched place, just like a virgin is untouched. All right. She hasn't been known. Well, America hasn't been known. There's not been any war other than what was self-inflicted, here on the shores of America. No other country has come and invaded and brought this place into and made it war torn, like how other nations has had to go through. All right. Only the Edomites. This place has seen a lot of blood, all due to the Edomites that's here. All right. The Edomites that's right here is the ones that have shed the blood here, man. They shed the blood of Gad. They shed the blood of Reuben, of Issachar. Okay. Um, of yeah, Gad, Reuben, and Issachar mainly right here in the northern America. Okay. With maybe some sprinkles of the others, but then they brought Judah over here, shed the blood of Judah. Okay. And Benjamin and Levi. All right. Ultimately, all the tribes is here. They're shedding blood still yet. All right. Don't think that ICE isn't a thing. Just because you don't hear about ICE no more because of the war with Iran, don't think that they're still not out there doing their thing, rounding people up, separating families, and doing the worst. Don't think that that's not happening. Okay. So the virgin daughter of Babylon is the place, the United States of America, as Babylon, all the vibration and the wickedness of Babylon, this place has adopted and has increased upon it. Okay. It says, and sit in the dust, which the dust represents confusion. It also represents a low place. Okay. It says, for your days of sitting on a throne have ended, O daughter of Babylonia. Never again will you be the lovely princess, tender and delicate, right? Never again will this place, America, be looked at as that crown jewel of the earth, because everybody's looking at this place with a super supreme squinted side eye. Okay. Everybody's looking at this place like it stinks. All right. They're realizing that, damn, roses really do smell like boo-boo. Okay. It says, take heavy millstones and grind flour, remove your veil and strip off your robe, expose yourself to public view. And America's being exposed to public view, that it's not a strong as it has been boistering itself. All right. Well, maybe it does have a strong offense, but its defense is lacking. All right. And people are starting to notice that. Just like a boxer who's been hyped up. Well, once you get in the ring, all eyes is on you, man. And people are starting to see that, damn, your defense is kind of terrible. You had great offense, but your defense is lacking. Now, the homeland of America has good defense only due to the fact that it borders only two countries, which are, you know, basically subordinates of the United States of America because of how great the United States of America is, that Canada and Mexico can't hold a candle towards it. All right. But then also, if other than those two countries, the only things that border it is two of the two largest oceans in the world. Okay. So that's the defense that it has for the homeland. So all the fights that it does is abroad, and then there, yeah, you can strike hard, but it's easily winded because it relies on bases that's abroad. And in the case of Iran, where they put hell on the bases that's abroad, how can you strike? All right. And you can't even defend those that was allowing you to put the bases around. So what are you gonna do? All right. So they're exposing this place. This place is being exposed to that public view. It says, "You will be naked and burdened with shame. I will take vengeance against you without pity." And the Lord's going to take that vengeance without pity, just like it said in Psalms, the 18th chapter that we read. To those that's merciful, he'll show himself merciful, right? It says, "Our Redeemer, whose name is the Lord of heaven's armies, the Holy One of Israel, his name is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. O beautiful Babylon, sit now in darkness and silence. Never again will you be known as the Queen of Kingdoms. For I was angry with my chosen people and punished them by letting them fall into your hands. But you, Babylon, showed them no mercy. You oppressed even the elderly." And we're being oppressed unto this very day. According to Baruch, the 3rd chapter, we're still this day in our captivity. We're still under the hell of the Edomites, man. All right, under the wrath of the Edomites. We're still catching that day in and day out. All right. Well, the Lord's going to repay this devil for everything, man. So they can talk big, bold words about how they're not going to show any mercy towards anybody. Well, guess what? The Lord's not going to show mercy unto you, Esau. All right? It says, "You said, I will reign forever as the queen of the world. You did not reflect on your actions or think about their consequences." Listen, right, which one of the consequences they didn't think about was starting this shit with Iran, because Iran was ready for y'all's ass, man. Y'all was just gonna be able to do Iran like you've been doing all the other nations, man. You thought you was gonna be able to do like you did in Syria in Iran, or do as you did in Iraq with Iran, or do as you did in Libya with Iran, or Venezuela recently, and Iran, that wasn't the case. All right, Iran was ready for y'all's ass, man. Let's go, Elam. Do it, Elam. Okay, I'm telling you, Iran's finding a new special little spot in my heart, man. It says, "Listen to this, you pleasure-loving kingdom. Is this not the pleasure-loving kingdom? Living at ease and feeling secure. You say, I am the one. I'm sorry. You say, I am the only one and there is no other. I will never be a widow or lose my children." And America takes that stance. America first. America's the best nation, the strongest military in the world, so on and so forth. They really think that they're the top dog and that nothing can touch them, right? It says, "Well, both of these things will come upon you in a moment, widowhood and the loss of your children. Yes, these calamities will come upon you despite all your witchcraft and magic." All right. And this place is being exposed for the witchcraft that's heavily involved here by the upper echelon of the American elite. All right. Seems that all the politicians, all the entertainers, all the people that get the spotlight, all the people that's plastered in your face, all of them are involved one way or another into some debauchery, man. Okay. It says, "You felt secure in your wickedness. No one sees me," you said, "but your wisdom and knowledge have led you astray." And you said, "I am the only one and there is no other." Right? You thought America really, they believe that shit. This dude, he believes all that shit. He believes it. Look at his face, man. Look at his fucking face, man. Golly. This guy believes that shit, man. Look at him. All right, and then you got this bozo. Let's go, y'all. About to be all shy, man. Hey, the Lord is tearing this place apart, and I love it. It says, so disaster, and this is a promise too. The words of the Lord is a promise. It does not return back onto him void. So when he says he's going to destroy this place, that he's going to tear it down, believe it. Okay? This economy is really about to crash. It's all about to crumble. Everything's about to get worse here in America. Believe that. All right? Don't be looking forward to receiving, benefits, or, being able to cash in on this or that. Hey, don't be looking forward to the continuation of this place, cuz things are only going to get worse. You thought gas prices is bad now. Okay? The local gas station, the one that's closest to my house, the price right now is 5.79, or at least that's what it was this morning. 5.79. Okay? And I won't be surprised if it's up even further tomorrow or the day after. Okay, past $6. I won't be surprised, man. All right. It says, so disaster will overtake you, and you won't be able to charm it away. Calamity will fall upon you, and you won't be able to buy your way out. A catastrophe will strike you suddenly, one of which you are not prepared. Hey, the Lord's really about to tear this place up, man. He's about to use the heathen to do so. Okay? And then ultimately, our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai is about to come back and put his hand onto it as well, man. All right? It says, now use your magical charms. Use your spells you have worked at all these years. Maybe they will do you some good. Maybe they can make someone afraid of you. Yeah, use your magic, Esau. Use your magic, man. See if it's gonna work for you. All right, because the Lord is pulling the plug on Esau, man. He's pulling the plug. Who gave you that dark magic that they've been using? Who gave that onto him? It was the Lord, man. It was the Heavenly Father. All right, He creates the light and the darkness. The Lord does all these things. So He's the one that has been allowing them to get ahead using their dark black rituals. Okay. But the Lord's withdrawn those demons from you. He's not allowing those demons to supply you guys with power no more. The Lord set you guys up for the ultimate okie doke, man. It says, all the advice you received has made you tired. Where are all your astrologers, those stargazers who make predictions each month? Let them stand up and save you from what the future holds. But they are like straw burning in a fire. They cannot save themselves from the flame. You will get no help from them at all. Their hearth is no place to sit for warmth. Which a hearth is pretty much, it's a stove or a chimney. Okay, a fireplace. All right, old school houses used to have them, and it would heat the whole house. Okay. uh, Modern society kind of moved away from that with electronics and modern technology and whatnot. But that used to be a very a staple inside of a home. Okay, as that will be how, for the most part, how food will get made, and then also for warmth. So that would be like a central place in the house. That would be, a very vital place within the house, because the family would gather around it for the warmth. But then also, like I said, food was made at the fire. Okay. It says, and all your friends, those with whom you've done business since childhood, all right, America's old friends, man, the old Edomite, even the old Edomite friends, right, the other Edomite nations, the lesser Edomite nations, okay. It says, will go their own ways, turning a deaf ear to your cries, and there ain't nobody about to look. You said there was going to be no quarter for the Iranians. Well, there's going to be no quarter for these Americans, man. These American troops are about to be overseas, stuck there, man. Okay, with no way home. All right, that's what's about to happen. Let's grab this. I'll close this out after this. We'll go to Isaiah the 33rd chapter, and let's read the verse 1 right here. Okay, Isaiah chapter 33, verse 1. It says, "Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, and thou shalt be spoiled, and when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee." This is what is awaiting you Americans, man. Okay? You've dealt treacherously. Look at this guy. You've dealt treacherously. You've caused war. You have made bold statements against these other nations. All right? Well, all of that's coming back around onto your head, man. And we'll see how you like it. Look at him pointing. We'll see how you like it, buddy, when it's all right back at you, you know? So we're in interesting times. There's more that's gonna come. All right. I seen this article and immediately I was like, oh, he doesn't want no mercy. He's not gonna receive no mercy. And I was like, I might as well put that to the wax, man. Okay. So like I said, I'll put this article up. And yeah, we'll just keep going. Continue to cry out until Yahweh Shem Shai in hopes that we get the hell up out of this place really soon, man. You know? It's so close. It is so close, brothers. Just hold tight, hold firm, keep doing what you know you're supposed to be doing. All right. Don't lose your faith. Don't lose your focus. Because we're almost up out of here. And continue to pray to Yahweh Shem Shai that we get up out of here really, really soon, man. All right. Until next time. Shalom.